Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Okay, I gotta. All right, there we go. I got it. Um, you guys, um, I'm going to do something abbreviated because I was going to. Wait, give me just a second. Let me bring up these slides and then I'll explain. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ba, da, 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 ba, ba, da, da. There we go. Wait, no, I didn't want to do that one. I may use that later. Anyway, I'll just leave that there for now. Okay. So, that woman, the one who's known as that woman, um, I watched the what do you call it today? I watched the Wicked Witch, whatever they call the documentary that they just released about that woman, and I tell you, I'm caught up in my feelings about the whole thing. Um, Let me do this. Let me get the thumbnail I was supposed to use for today. Put that one up. So just pretend like you never saw that one. There we go. Oh, cannot open it. Wait, I got to get rid of one to open one. All right, let me try it again. There we go. And wunderbar. There we go. That's the one I wanted to use. Well, not really, but I mean, yeah, that is the one. So what am I saying? Well, let me say hi to some people first. Let me see who's here. Mary H, thank you so much for being first. And hello to everybody. I'm not going to keep you guys more than 30 minutes. We'll just be 30 minutes because I think I'm going to do a recording like I did last time, the other day when I was doing my experiment with a pre-recorded video. I think I'm going to do that. But I'm going to take another deep dive on that woman because I watched the documentary. One of the squatties managed to share it with us um, using another way. Yeah, I didn't have to watch it directly from UK television. And if that squatty is watching, thank you so much for doing that. Oh, I guess what really rattles me is that some of the biggest abusers make their cameo appearance, and they tried to make it seem as though Harry was um irrational, that he was uh like a spoiled brat. Not the language they use, but that's what they meant. Like he was this irrational spoiled brat. They tried to delegitimize everything that he said about his father, that woman, and so many other things. The usual suspects. And two of them, I know that they know better, but they are towing the line for the palace, which is interesting because one of them, you would almost need a team of Clydesdales to tow him, and that, of course, being Robert CPAP Jobson. And of course, there was old Piranha Face, the old Piranha Face. Jeannie Bond was there. And of all people, Petronella Wyatt. They had Petronella Wyatt, and they were all in such denial about anything to do with the palace and the press and the leaking. They denied, denied, denied. Now, I don't even know who these people were, but there were a couple of people that were trying to make the case for Harry. And I'm pretty sure they did a vigorous job of it. But the problem is, it seems to me as though they gave a little bit too much face time to the royal rota. Um, and my God, do I remember was I think Angela Levin was, yeah. How could I forget her? She was also in it. I wanted to see it because I thought for certain that this was going to be exactly what it ended up being, a vehicle to help Camilla more than it tells the truth. And they disguised it by seeming as though there was some real criticism of her. But for the most part, it was the Charles and Camilla, the love story that was meant to be. And I'm going to have to watch it again. I'm going to have to watch it again. God help me. But I'm going to have to watch it again because I want to make sure that I'm clear about what I'm feeling right now. But I don't feel good having watched it. So, trigger alert. If you want to stay in a safe space, I would suggest that you don't watch it. I don't know how many of you all may have seen it, but it's just like with The Crown. They build it up like it's going to be that devastating blow to the institution, and it turns out to be anything but. It does not move the needle either way. If anything, well, I shouldn't say that. If anything, I think it kind of helps Godzilla. But I'm very frustrated behind it. Yeah, not good. Not good. So, um, the reason why I'm not going to stay on so long is because I was working for a while trying to put together something to respond to what I watched, but I realized it's just going to need some more time. So, better for me to do it later than sooner because it deserves uh, more attention. Let me see here. So, did anybody else watch it? Hey, Legs, Beverly McCaskill. Let's see. I heard that everything that Prince Harry said about the horse Miller was true. Prince Dre saw it and stated that the book is true. Those three idiots are lost trying to get LB. Yeah, yeah, it did reaffirm things about the book, but the problem is they also gave the um I think they were trying to be too balanced and then they became unbalanced because they were afraid of the palace. They were afraid of the palace. I it's just uh I guess the only way you can understand what I'm saying is you would have to see it. But having Petronella Wyatt and Angela Levin, of all people, Robert Jobson, fine. Jeannie Bond, fine. But not those other two. Not those other two. Um, mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I don't want to. Oh my God. It's very frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. If there was just an honest broker who could just tell the story. Just tell the story. I got really frustrated with someone who's not a squatty, but let's say they're squatty adjacent. And they thought that the Harry and Meghan docu-series was a bit one-sided. And of course, I snapped back with, okay, I can see why you say that, but the palace has a standing army of people that 24 hours a day are spinning the same lies over and over and over again, and then interjecting a bunch of nonsense that never happened, isn't likely to ever be. Harry and Meghan don't have that. They don't have command of the airways. They don't have command of the resources that the palace has, where they can bully ABC into um, killing a story so that they can have access to the royal wedding. They don't have that. All they have is a ragtag team of people like myself and people like you all, and there's no leader per se. It's just people with good intentions. And so the one time that Harry and Meghan tell their story, or at this point, let me say that was probably the second or the third time that they told their story without the input from people that are liars. They're liars. The royal rodents are liars. They make up stuff. They misrepresent. They don't have that. They don't have the luxury of that. That's why I told you sometimes I could watch some of those documentaries and I don't know, it could be about anything, nothing to do with Harry and Meghan. It might be about something historic or whatever. You know, the stuff that I used to watch and enjoy before the hate campaign against Meghan. I used to watch all of those. You know, what was that? The Queen's speech when she said, "Be it long or be it short, I'm going to dedicate my life to our imperial family," and all that kind of stuff. And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's interesting." But when you know, you know. And so before, when I didn't even know who these so-called royal experts were, I could just watch and say, "Oh, that was very interesting history." But now you're watching and you're like, "Oh, okay. So yeah, the Queen Mother said, oh, now we can look the people on the East End in the face. The palace has been bombed in World War II. Now we're just like everybody else." Not really, but you know, that's what they were spinning, right? And then next thing you know, here comes one of the royal reporters that I cannot stand, and it just ruins the whole thing. There are just certain royal reporters that pop up in stories where I don't want to see their face. I don't want to hear their voice. It just ruins it for me. I just turn it off. I have to turn it off, lest I should have to see them pop up again. And so, watching this thing about Camilla, all of a sudden, instead of getting this critique of Camilla, there's Robert Jobson. There's Jeannie Bond, you know, the one who lied and said that Diana told her that she wanted Camilla to be happy, that she deserved to be happy. She understood. There's Jeannie Bond. And then, worst of the worst, Angela Levin. Having those people in this documentary let you know that they were not serious. They were not serious. They were not there to expose as much as they were just there to pull both sides in, to get both sides to watch, to get engagement from pro Sussex and pro the rest of them. And you never really get any type of movement, right? It doesn't change anything. Camilla has not been exposed any more than she was when Spare came out. Nothing has really changed. I don't think I've learned anything new except for she stood up in the classroom and said, "My great great grandmother was a hoe. I'm going to be one too." That's about the only thing that I got from it, is that she told a classroom full of people that my great 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 grandma was the mistress to the king. Isn't that cool? That's the only thing new I've heard. And somehow I somehow I don't feel like that changes anything. It only confirms what we already knew. So her great 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 grandma worked in one of them houses. So what? Oh boy. Mm-mm-mm. I don't feel like it changes anything. They rehash a bunch of stuff that you already know. And of course, even some of those things from her youth that oh, she was a chain smoker. Oh, she, and then wait, this is the one I love, where they say that she broke many hearts. They said that she um had so many guys that were in love with her, but she didn't sleep around. Haven't we heard otherwise, that she and Charles and Andrew Parker Bowles and Afro Annie, that you know that let's see, Afro Annie was dating Andrew Parker Bowles, who was also dating Camilla, and Camilla was dating Charles and dating Andrew Parker Bowles. I mean, come on, they even showed that in The Crown. But guess what? I don't think they mentioned that on this documentary. I don't think they mentioned it. Now, to be fair, I did get interrupted with a couple of phone calls, and I had to try to, catch up as much as I could. But doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything, because the full-throated denial or the pretense that Harry just doesn't understand and got it wrong, it almost negates anything else that was said. I don't want it to be fair. I don't, because they have enough command of the media as it is. I don't want it to be fair. I just want them to just pick that old rotted carcass of a consort apart and expose her for who she is. That's what I want. I don't want all this straight down the middle stuff. It's just like they did with the two princes. By the time they got done with it, there's Omid Scobie talking, and all of a sudden the sound fades out. It's the same thing over again. Camilla saw something she wanted, she got what she wanted. End of story. And anybody who got in the way, just because they mentioned the thing about what's his name, Mark Bolan and Harry going to the rehab, and okay, but that was in the book. But you know what? I'm looking at this through eyes of someone who's read the book, who's watched the documentary, Harry and Meghan, who knows a great deal of the story based on what Harry has said and what Meghan has said. And so let's hope that I'm just being triggered by these royal reporters, and that people who don't know the whole story, maybe they will see something that they've never seen before. I don't think it's going to make a difference because whatever is said, the royal rodent, the so called royal experts, are going to go on every talk show. They're going to do all the podcasts. They're going to do all the tweets and articles and such to try to gaslight you into believing otherwise. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. So, anyway, let me go to the next slide. Oh God. Look at those pompous, arrogant, adulterous faces. This man, with all of these meaningless medals, brought that woman into the Westminster Abbey and crowned her Queen Consort. It's just something so wicked about that. The and to be fair, the documentary did say that anybody who got in the way was going to get run over. And they did. I mean, they did have portions of Harry on 60 Minutes talking about that woman and his father. They did mention it. I just don't know if it's enough because after the fact, you have the Petronella Wyatts and the Robert Jobsons. Oh, but Harry may believe that there were. I mean, they just flat out said that there was no cooperation with the press. Not that I know of. I haven't seen that. You know, it's enough to make you start cussing like Samuel L. Jackson. It really is. I could have dropped a million F bombs after I heard that. So, let me take myself out of here. Queen Camilla, Wicked Stepmother, Channel 4 documentary expected to be hugely controversial. Well, you know what, guys? I'm very biased in favor of Harry and Meghan. Let's hope by this time tomorrow that it really is someone kicking the hornet's nest and that I'm missing something because of my bias and my affection for the Sussexes. A News Channel 4 documentary is set to brand Queen Camilla as Prince Harry's wicked stepmother and will also show a bias toward the Duke of Sussex, according to reports. They did show it, but then they kind of, like I said, they should have just left it at that. But nope, here comes Robert Jobson. Here comes Petronella Wyatt. Why would you have Petronella Wyatt and Angela Levin, two of the most, actually, none of the ones I mentioned, including Jeannie Bond, who makes up stuff, none of them are any good. None of them are any good. Robert Jobson, somebody who is a brilliant writer, knows better, but at the end of the day, he's going to toe the party line because he knows what I know that you know is that he will continue to eat from the king's table. Matter of fact, it looks like he's eaten the king's table. Woo! I couldn't resist. I know that was a real cheap one, wasn't it? Okay. What I think this is, and I don't want to sound too morbid, but I think they're working on Gladys's mortality. I mean, not mortality, but her legacy. I believe that this is an attempt to work on Camilla's legacy because that I think she may be a lot sicker than we're led on, or it could just be related to her age and the fact that she was a chain smoker. But which they did mention that in the documentary, that when she was younger, it was like she was eating cigarettes. But either way, she's what, 78 now, and I don't think she has the same robust health that Queen Elizabeth had. So let's say they're working on her legacy so that when she goes down in that storm cellar over at the St. George Chapel, that they will get a good turnout for the arrangements, right? When she's lying in state at the Windsor Hall or whatever, or Westminster Hall, um, they're hoping to drum up a lot of affection for her. The same way they were trying to get people worked up about Philip. Remember that? They were trying to get people all worked up about Philip, and it just wasn't working. I think that that's what they're working on for Camilla, because um, perhaps Camilla ain't long for this world, right? Perhaps she's not. Um, and I think that they are really trying to close the deal. They've already got her married into the family and everything using Harry and his brother. And then, of course, they managed to get the queen to go along with this, call her the queen consort stuff. Everything along the way, they have been very successful. They have. They have been very successful. And what I was going to do earlier was go to my receipts, which I did. And I have the slides already, but it's too much to do tonight. The cost of Camilla. King Charles accused of sacrificing Prince Harry to save his and mistress's image after affair. Accused. Accused. And I know that's, journalistically responsible to say accused, but I would feel so much better if they could just say, whole and complete, say King Charles sacrificed Prince Harry to save his and his mistress's image. End of story. Don't leave them a way out. We know what happened. King Charles and Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, the Queen Cohort, to get a new rescue dog after the death of beloved Beth, which right there lets you know that this is all a big joke to them. Charles' mother, who could not stand Camilla, her name was Elizabeth. Why does she have a dog named Beth? Why does she have a dog named Beth? They had a fit over a infant being called Lilybeth, but she's walking around with a dog named Beth, likely named for her mother-in-law, who refused to be in the same space with her for God knows how long. And what is the tabloid media saying about it? Nothing. Nothing at all. And this is my point. If it was Meghan or Harry, you would never hear the end of it. Why is Meghan trying to attack the Queen's memory by naming her dog Beth? This is the same person who went to Canada and laughed at the native, indigenous, First Nation people, who went to Australia and did the exact same thing. And the media that she carries around in her brassiere said absolutely nothing. I think that's why she's so top heavy, because she's got the Daily Mail, the Sun, all kind of tabloids. She just walks around with them in her bra. Yep, she just walks. She just sticks them in her bra, that and a 50-pound note, and just walks out the door. You couldn't make this stuff up. You just could not make it up. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, they are sick. They're absolutely disgusting people. They're disgusting. So, it is a masterclass of deviant behavior. It really is. I hate to give her any credit for it, but that beast of a woman, that woman has managed to assume the role of the pretty girl. Now she's the pretty girl, untouchable, untouchable. When I do share that other stuff, you'll be able to weave a lot of this stuff together. It's stuff that I've shared before, plus a few extras. But like I said, it deserves to be a video of its own. So um, I'll do that another time. Now, let's go on to this individual. The Telegraph royal family, blah, 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 blah. The Princess of Wales has made last minute decision to join her husband, the Prince of Wales, to meet the families of the three girls killed in the Southport knife attack. That was a last minute thing. That was not planned. That was last minute. William was going to go it alone, but probably someone at Kensington Palace urged him to take her along because she needs to be seen to be believed. And so they did, which reminds me of this. Actually, that's the next slide. But never forget, Kate wasn't even invited. And thank you, SK, for posting this. Kate wasn't even invited to Southport. She just hitched on to William the last minute, which didn't impress Willie's team. So they put his headline out. So this Christmas invite is just so laughable and disingenuous, like everything else said they do. Everything else, everything. I'm sorry, everything else they do. Well, you can see William's face. Look at his face. There's several images of him where he seems to be so disconnected from the person sitting next to him, even a bit hostile, if you ask me, but totally disconnected. And I believe it was the same thing when she embraced the girl that came for the honors. She's believed to be terminally ill, and Kate was not supposed to be there. William was supposed to meet the family, and next thing you know, here comes Kitty. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Kitty. Here comes Kitty. Taking over the whole situation. And this, sadly, this is the extent of outreach that Kate Middleton has done directly with any cancer patient since she did or did not have cancer, since there was or was not cancer found, since she went through or did not go through chemotherapy. I'm not sure which it is. That's why I'm saying it may or may not have happened, because you can't be sure, because there's so many lies that come out of Kensington Palace. She may or may not have walked through a field of grain with that bizarre look on her face. I mean, look at her. She's really trying not to laugh. That's what it is. She's trying not to laugh because this is all a big joke. It's all a big joke. They sit around and conspire to see what they can get away with. And this is just another one. So there was no planned meeting that day to meet this young lady. But I guess Kate's team must have thought it was too tempting to let it pass them by. Plus, she really didn't even have to leave the house. So, yeah, well, let's just throw in there. And so they did. I'm telling you guys, I am totally fascinated. If they were trying to draw anybody into this, they got me. Because I am really curious to know if they will get away with this. I mean, so far everything is going their way, but starting the 17th of January, when they announced that Kate was having surgery and it's not an emergency, Charles is having surgery, it's not an emergency either. Both of them, they are certain that there is no cancer. None of this is cancerous. But if you start from day one, that they announced that a senior royal and the sovereign were having surgery on the same day, there was no reasonable explanation for that. It wasn't like Charles was scheduled to have prostate surgery. He's got the kind of insurance where when you feel like it, you go, and a whole team of experts will assemble. Same with Kate. So they did not have to be in the hospital at the same time. Whatever the problem was that Charles had before that surgery, it was not an emergency. They could have waited another week before they announced that. But one announcement was designed to cover for the other, the one that may or may not have been true. That may or may not have been true. That's never made sense to me that they would make these announcements on the same day, if only to avoid making people feel insecure about the monarchy. And I do think that would be responsible to space these announcements apart. Charles could have done just like the Queen, go in, have it done, and say nothing, and maybe release the information at a later date. But, credit to Charles on that one, that he's been trying to be more open and, you know, forthright with certain information, except for if and when he'll pay taxes. Whereas the Queen did not ever want anybody to know what was wrong. She died of old age, right? Philip died of old age. That's how they kept it. But at least it was consistent. I hope so. I hope the cracks are showing. I hope that people can fully see that all of this stuff can be exposed in the light of day, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll stop trying to drag Harry and Meghan into it. They need a pound of flesh, and when I say they, I do mean the royal rotas, the tabloid media. They need a pound of flesh. Now, it is more to the advantage for them to talk about people that are interesting compared to some dodo walking around a field of grain for no logical explanation or no logical reason. That's not very interesting. I mean, I could just imagine any passerby wondering, why is the future queen and that camera crew walking through the field? Why are they over there? What is the point of this? Is that a herbal essence commercial? Is she doing a commercial for, feminine hygiene products? Just looking at it, I felt as fresh as a summer's eve. I can imagine what any passerby was to. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. But still, I was as fresh as a summer's eve. Yep. Anybody who watched it was as fresh as a summer's eve. Still cannot believe Kate chose not to use her immense platform to educate and advise others about her symptoms and the type of cancer it is. Appalling and a missed opportunity to raise awareness that could save lives. And that still has not happened. And the only reason why it hasn't happened is because it's probably not true. That's the only thing that makes sense, is that it's probably not true. A platform as big as the Princess of Wales, and she has not gone to one hospital. Not one. Which means it's likely not true. There's a hole in that story big enough to drive Robert Jobson through. Well, I shared these with you guys before, but same thing. Same thing. How could you give advice on an affliction you never had? How could you advise people who are really suffering and dying from cancer that PR, fake photos, and fake double farm appearances, then rolling in the field commercial is the way to beat pre-cancer? Yeah, that's the way you beat pre-cancer. And the fact that nobody of note, there's not going to be any mainstream media that's going to say, hold on, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Nobody's going to say anything. Essentially, they have gotten away with it. And there's a huge I told you so to my squatty adjacent person that I just want to say, I told you so. Didn't I tell you that it didn't make sense? The hardest year of my life. And of course, someone replied, don't play the victim of the problem, you create it. Don't play the victim of the problem, you create it. The future of the British monarchy hangs by a thread, according to royal expert. Well, I think they still got plenty fight in them. As long as they can control the message, which so far as the mainstream media is concerned, they still seem to have a firm grip on the message. As long as they have that, then likely there's not going to be much movement either way. But I do get a kick out of watching them panic because they have been in panic mode. You can tell that they have been rattled by all of this simply by the way that they've been conducting themselves. There's an air of desperation to it. But if I was a betting person, I'm going to say that I think Charles may actually outlive Camilla. And even if he doesn't, I think that they're still trying to establish a um a narrative, a backstory for the point of her existence, besides being the side piece to Charles. So her she had this chest infection, then she didn't have an infection. Now she's got that mystery infection again. So that gives you a chance to feel sorry for her. Then of course the whole thing with the dog dying. Well, so what? Dogs die, especially dogs that's named after your mother-in-law. And so now she's got a new puppy. I mean, it's just too cute to be clever. Everything to make her seem like a whole and complete, real, hardworking person who just wants to make this world a better place. You know, all the stuff she never cared about before this moment. There were battered women shelters years ago. Puppies that needed to be adopted years ago. There's all kind of things that were available years ago that she didn't give a rat's behind about. Now, um, that other person, own daughter and son wants daughters, that is, and son wants nothing to do with her. But instead of trying to rebuild relationships with said children, that person is too busy blaming her half estranged sister on her own crap show of a life, while the Duchess of Sussex will enjoy the holidays with her children and husband. Said a squatty that I didn't care to identify. Um, Ooh, that's wicked, ain't it? That is wicked. I couldn't have thought of anything as compelling, but it just so happens to be true. It just so happens to be true. Oh, there's that sinister laugh again. Oh, I don't know who I'm supposed to be sorry for. Am I supposed to be sorry for Kate? Am I supposed to be sorry for William? Or am I supposed to be sorry for Hot Wheels? Who am I supposed to be sorry for? Inside the lonely life of Meghan's older sister, as she turns 60 today and will be celebrating in isolation due to estrangement from both of her daughters, as well as a long running feud. There's no feud, of course, with the Duchess. I mean, a feud takes two people, which led to other stuff. Now, I want you to take a look at the name of the uh, so called journalist that wrote this. You see that name? That's that kid from the north, from Scotland. That's that kid from Scotland who wrote the article. Um, what was the article? Um, hmm. Oh gosh, what was it? Oh, the one about the Welby, the one about the archbishop, how the archbishop made a huge mistake by getting close to the Sussexes, even though Meghan was only there, or should I say, married into that family for 18 months before she headed for the hills. I'm sure there wasn't much of a relationship with either Sussex, but that ain't the point, is it? Why point out the obvious if a good lie will do? But yeah, So they're painting this picture that somebody is going to be alone and isolated for Christmas. Well, why don't they just go to Mexico? Why don't you spend Christmas in Mexico? Huh? You and your hillbilly brother, y'all could spend Christmas in Mexico. The three of you. You, Big Loser and Little Loser. All three of y'all can have Christmas together, right? Because I think that the other kids are probably going to be over at Meghan's. They're going to be eating some soul food and playing having tea in the tea house, or maybe playing tennis, or swimming in the Sussex pool, or and they'll bring their kids, and it's going to be really nice. It's going to be nice because those other three won't be around. That's why it's going to be nice. I bet you that's going to be a beautiful Christmas. Beautiful Christmas. So, yeah. If you ask me, everybody got what they wanted. What surprises me, though, is that this article points out the fact that she has no relationship with 3 children. Usually one child will stick by your side. There's 3, and none of them can be bothered. What does that say? What does that say? Oh boy. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I did not do a slide for that one, but let me share the words of Miss Ashley with you. Is that okay? You know, the daughter who managed to go to law school and get a degree for immigration law, which really comes in convenient right now, if you know what I mean. Let me oh wait, where is it?
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the show.
Nope, that's not it. Oh my goodness, did I save it or did I not? I don't. Oh yeah, there it is.
And I am Meg's niece. I'm an immigration attorney, and I am Meg's niece.
How are you and Meg related?
So Meg is my aunt on the maternal side of my family. So she is my biological mother's half sister. My biological mother is Samantha Markle. And it was agreed by everyone, for myself and my brother, to be raised by our grandparents. So they got custody of us when I was probably around 2 years old. And ultimately, they did adopt us. So I was raised by my paternal grandparents, and for me, they were my parents. My biological mother, I've not seen her since I was 6 years old. And then later in life, around 2007, we reconnected.
I just remember my dad saying to me, Samantha found her daughter. And I was like, oh, if you have her email address, I want to email her.
Started out.
That was the voice of the Duchess of Sussex, by the way.
These long emails back and forth to each other. And then texts and calls. After a while, I think we were talking on some level several days a week.
And we just hit it off. And then she and I just started, I was on Suits at the time. So I said, let's go on vacations.
She took me to New Orleans. We walked around, we listened to some good live music, ate way too much food, and had way too many drinks. It was just the two of us, which I think was really special.
Ooh, I bet you Hot Wheels didn't like that.
I think she takes on a lot of roles for me. There's like a sister element, there's something maternal. She's a best friend. She's, kind of all the things.
In other words, all the things that my mother has never been.
I think we both craved the same thing. I wanted a sister, and she was like a little sister. Ash was put through quite a bit by the media, just by association. I didn't want her life to be plagued with all that drama.
But sometimes these things cannot be helped. So what can I say? It was agreed that it was best that my grandparents raised me, and they did. And I think they've done a fantastic job. In spite of, everything else, they've done a fantastic job. And now she has an aunt, a big sister, a mom, so many roles. Usually I don't care to discuss that person, but I could not resist tonight because what could I say? It just kind of crossed every box or dotted every I or whatever, checked every box. I'm sorry, crossed every T, dotted every I. It kind of gave me my life. It reassured me in humanity. That's what it's done. So, oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And so are they. They're beautiful. And she's beautiful. Listen, you guys, there was I follow Marquez, the Vice President Marquez. I follow her. And this is what she posted today. I extend a warm hug to all Colombian youth. You are the hope of the country and the future of change. As I expressed at the National Youth Assembly, we need a country full of opportunities for youth, a country in which they do not have to aspire to migrate abroad to live their dreams, to see their talents put to good use, or even to ensure that their lives are not at risk. We know that in many cases, there are difficulties, obstacles, and that sometimes the guarantees are insufficient, but we are working daily to transform that reality. This assembly that ends today is an example of what we can do. My hopes remain intact. I continue to dream and believe that we can transform the world. We can build a model that has life at its center, that leaves aside the system of death that has been imposed on us. Hear, hear. And that, of course, is the Vice President of Colombia, and she approves that message. So yeah, you guys do make sure you pray for her because, like most change makers, there's so many people that would prefer that she not be in the position that she's in, but she is in that position and she is doing an incredible job. She's bringing so much positivity to the youth, to women of color, and so on in Colombia. The idea of machismo in Latin America is something that has plagued national politics. And it seems like in the United States, we have just gone through another round of that machismo, male domination of politics, where a qualified candidate did not stand a chance. So, in spite of everything that happened here in November, she gives me a reason to smile. And guess what? You see this place? Now, most times you look at it and you don't really know what's, or should I say, who owns it or anything like that. But I decided to do a little investigation because earlier today I was watching the Lady Sussex and Charles and George, and I was like, so is that what her handle is, her street name? This place didn't always look like this. It used to look like this. Menopause Moonshine Minis. That's right. This saloon once belonged and probably still belongs to Church Nelly. Yeah, that is Church Nelly's saloon. You know, it's something about Church Nelly that just screams can, moonshine, whiskey, saloon. And this is Church Nelly's. Now, don't tell her I found this. We'll just let that be our little secret. But that is why Church Nelly keeps those odd hours. You know, when she say, oh, she took a nap and all that kind of stuff. She been up all night, running the crap table, pouring the moonshine at Menopausal Moonshine Minis. Yep, Menopausal Moonshine Minis. She let slip that name on Lady Sussex earlier today, not realizing that I would be able to use that as a means to discover her true identity. So there you have it. The Menopausal Moonshine Mini Saloon, aka Church Nelly. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I have been discovered. Well, Church Nelly, that is a clever what do you call it? Ruse that you have pulled on us, perpetrated upon us. But we all know who and what you truly are. Yes, we all know who and what you truly are. You run a saloon in some obscure little community, taking advantage of the drifters and what do you call it? Mine workers and such that pass by, seizing what's left of their pay. Somebody had to expose you. Might as well be me. Menopausal Moonshine Minis. So if you happen to be on a long, dusty road and you come across this place, keep driving. Just pass it by. Otherwise, you'll find yourself completely inebriated and penniless, and maybe even wake up naked. Never know. Anything could happen at Menopausal Moonshine Minis. And I found this earlier today. I forgot I made this. If you know, you know. Do you remember when Perez Hilton, how he, well, you know, I don't know if he still drags Harry and Meghan like he used to, but anyway, I discovered his secret. I didn't realize he had been in a Joan Crawford movie years ago. But like I said, if you know, you know. I got all kind of stuff, so y'all be careful because you never know when I'm going to find your real and true identities. After all, I found many. So anyway, with that, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight. All this investigation. Oh, wait a minute. I still got a couple of things, I think. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I almost forgot about these. Well, even though I said I was going to talk about some other stuff with Camilla another time, I will share this with you. This is like the Saks Fifth Avenue version, right? You buy a dress like this. Well, actually, it's a couture. This is the couture version of that dress. And of course, this on the left side, that is Temu. Okay? Couture, Temu. Couture on the right, or should I say in the middle, and Temu, surrounded by Temu. So in a world of cheap knockoffs, you know what gets me though, is that she tried to do that look not once, but twice. You get me? She tried to do that look not once, but twice, probably more than that. You know, wearing a choker off the shoulders or bare shoulders. It did not work the first time. If it did not work the first time, why would you try it again? I don't get it. I don't get it. There's just something too frumpy and too much about you to be wearing stuff like that. Don't do it. A woman should wear something like that, not you. See what I mean? It's just it's something so. And then why does she have her arms all splayed out like that? Why has she got her arms all stuck out like Popeye? I don't get it. Some things you're supposed to let women wear them, not her. Beaming Queen Consort. Now, tell me there's no invisible contract. Beaming Queen Consort Camilla looks impeccably polished in a blue frock as she attends a dinner to launch the first ever Bremar Literary Festival. Now, this was back in 2022. And let me see, they reported this October. Yeah, okay, 2022. So this was a month after the Queen died, the Queen Elizabeth. Queen Consort Camilla attends dinner launching Bremer, King Charles III wife, 75, oozed with elegance in a blue long sleeve dress last night. Well, at least she covered up them arms. The meeting to celebrate 3-day festival was hosted at the, what is it? The Five Arms Hotel. Listen, don't make me think about her arms, okay? They would have a hotel called Five Arms. That just makes me think about them arms again. You know, those arms all splayed out like that. Anyway, so having read this headline, I bet y'all think that she has got the only body. Ooh, I bet she looked good, right? They said she's impeccably polished, oozed elegance, right? Are you all ready for the big reveal? Are you all ready for the big reveal? This is why I say the invisible contract is real. Because while they're telling you and that get you all anticipating this beautiful blue frock that she's wearing, where she's oozing elegance, where she's polished to perfection. Instead, what do you get? A big sloppy mess. Can you believe that somebody wrote that headline for this dress? Does that look like somebody oozing elegance? Does that look like somebody polished to perfection? I mean, if you don't believe me, take a screenshot of this headline, right? And then Google that article. You'll see it for yourself. You will see her oozing elegance. She's oozing all right, but it ain't elegance. It's Night Train, Old Granddad, Wild Irish Rose, but it is certainly not elegance. Whatever she's oozing is cheap liquor. It is not elegance. I couldn't believe it. Oozing elegance, right? I wouldn't know what runway she would wear something like that. If this was a fashion moment, right? Could you imagine that outfit in New York Fashion Week? No. Milan Fashion Week. Yeah. Imagine that at the Milan Fashion Week. Oozing elegance and all that other stuff they said. Listen, they said she was oozing elegance. That's what they said. You see, if you what do you call it? If you ruin enough lives, they'll write whatever you want them to write. They will. All you have to do is just ruin one life after the other. Yep. Because Lord knows she was oozing elegance. This is how you know that there's a unseen force, an unseen hand at play. Instead, they should have wrote, "I've been rained on, rode hard, and put up wet." That's what they should have said. Rained on, rode hard, and put up wet. Not oozing elegance. That's not the Camilla I know. This is the Camilla I know. I mean, there's only one Camilla, and that Camilla is not oozing with elegance. That's why I say they make up stuff. They just make up stuff. There seems to be no limit to their imagination. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say goodnight, and I'll leave you with the real People's Princess, and of course the People's Prince. Thank you all so much, and I'm going to work on that other video. I'll probably record it tomorrow and post it early in the day. But like I said, it was just too much to share for tonight. It would have been 3 hours. But thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for supporting Royal Sussex. Trusting me to do this work, of course, means everything to me. Also, I almost forgot to say this, but yes, the Lady Sussex was on earlier today. And you guys, we please need to support our Sussex-friendly channels. Sunday Morning has been rescued by George Charles and the Lady Sussex. So we really do need to support them. Let me see here. I'm going to put the link up there at the top. Okay. Okay, I got it. There we go. That's the link right there. So please go over there, like, and share and subscribe. Okay, there it is. Please go over there, like and share and subscribe. Right now, they got 34,000 subscribers. And yes, even though it says Sunday morning, trust me, it was 3 amazing hours of work today. So great conversation, very laid back, very informative. So get over there, like, share, and subscribe, and watch it. Watch it. It doesn't have to be Sunday morning for you to watch it. Okay. Oh, so somebody wants some more singing tonight. I can't really sing tonight. I'm still kind of rattled by that documentary. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't feel bad. But yeah, I'm not in my singing spirit right now. I feel like I need to focus my thoughts on that other video that I need to make. Okay, I'm just looking at a couple of y'all comments. Let me see. Sometimes I want to go where everybody knows my name. There you go. There's a little song. And they're always glad you came. There we go. Menopausal moonshine minis. The roadside inn where anything is liable to happen and probably already has. Yep, anything's liable to happen and probably already has. Make sure you tell them that Church Nelly sent you. I should call the Vice Squad and have that place shut down. I'm just glad it's not in my neighborhood. Thank you, Vicky Chavez. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, exposing Church Nelly's other personality is something that I take very serious because what if this place of era fruit came to your community? Let me see here. Okay, I think we're good. Love you guys. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And we will talk again very soon. All right? Okay. Good night, all. Or good morning.